Hi everyone and welcome. Have you ever finished a kit and wondered what else that you could make with it? Today I'm going to be sharing with you the June Bikes and Blooms paper pumpkin kit, and also some other ideas, card ideas of what you can make using those supplies so that you can get the most out of your kits. So hi, I'm Angela Palmer. I'm from Stamp with Angela from Auckland, New Zealand, and I'm excited to be here with you today. I help everyday crafters create beautiful handmade cards with confidence through simple teaching, practical inspiration, and a welcoming community. So thank you for joining me, whether you're joining me today on Facebook or YouTube. I'm excited to be here and share the cards from the kits and some other ideas with you. I do admit I wasn't quite sure if today's live was going to be able to go ahead, just with things that have been happening here with my family. Unfortunately, my class this morning that I did have to cancel or postpone, which is a shame. I don't like to do that, but obviously family come first and that kind of thing. So we needed to, sort things out. So I've got my father-in-law staying with us, or have had him staying with us for several weeks while his partner recovers from an operation. And unfortunately, his health has deteriorated a bit and he needed medical attention and things. So yeah, he was off to hospital this morning. So hopefully now that he can get the help and things that he needs. So yeah, therefore my class couldn't go ahead, but I am here with this live. So it's nice to be able to come to you and yeah, share some card creations with you. So thank you for joining me. So I will just tell you that today's kits or today's cards use the June paper pumpkin kit. That is the Bikes and Blooms kit. So if you're a subscriber and you're waiting for your kit and it hasn't arrived yet and you're sort of not wanting to see what's in the box until you get it, maybe you want to come back and watch this later. I totally understand. So just a spoiler alert, I will be showing the cards from the kit and then some other ideas as well. Or maybe you just want to watch and see what it's like, see how to put them together, and then you'll be all set for your kit when it arrives, or when maybe it's arrived, but when you've got a chance to put it together. And if you don't have the kit, no worries. You can watch today, see what the kits are like, and use the ideas that I'm sharing with you to make other cards as well. So please let me know that you're here and where you're from. Thank you for the comments and things. Yes, so it's good to have you here. Yeah, and I see that Linda says it's always good to be able to stretch the kits. So, I mean, kits are great because if you want to make some quick and easy cards, they're there. You've got all the supplies you need, and you can make the 8 or 9 cards or whatever it requires. And a nice, easy task to do. They make great gifts as well. Or if you want to extend yourself, make more cards out of it, or use, come up with other ideas, you have that flexibility to do that if you wish. But by itself, the card kits are great too. So let's switch cameras. I might just need to adjust things here, and then we will get started and I'll show you the kit. So I'm just going to adjust my camera a bit because it's a little bit all over the place. Sorry. And hopefully we can get sorted. Trying to get it so it's not all wonky. Don't know why I think that's a bit better. We'll try anyway. Okay, so paper pumpkin kit. So I have opened it already, just so you know. I've made one set of each of the cards. And yeah, then I'm going to show you, you can make them up or do more. All right, excellent. Lots of you are here today. Jocelyn, Sue, Elizabeth, Linda, and others. So thank you for joining me. As I mentioned, if you missed my intro, unfortunately this morning's class didn't go ahead because we had to look after my father-in-law. But I did manage to come on for this live. So even with interrupted and not a lot of sleep last night with looking after him, but I am here now, which is always fun. I do enjoy doing these live. So I'm glad that no matter where you are, we can come together. All right, so this is the kit. So in your kit, you'll get instructions. So you'll have a picture here of what they look like. You will get, here it shows you what the 3 cards are, what parts of the kit that you need for each. And then there's the pictures with this kind of visual instructions, I guess you could say, showing you kind of this important steps, where to put your dimensionals, what embellishments you need, how much of the twine you need, all that kind of stuff, so you can make these great cards. So some of the other things that are in the kit, the first one you'll get a block. So I've got other kits, so I didn't get one with this. You get some embellishments. So this was these silver foil kind of butterflies. You get a stamp set. So my stamp set's all on blocks at the moment, but this is it here. It's actually really cool because you've got some flowers, butterflies, a few general sort of sentiments, a thank you or best wishes, a have a lovely day, which are really nice. Bike, and then you've got the butterflies and flowers, which is cool. Now the ink spot you get with it is Calypso Coral. So if you get a kit every month, after a few months you'll have a few colors. I think we've had Peaceful Pines, you've got a green, Misty Moonlight, a blue, and now Calypso Coral. So over time you'll get a collection of ink spots, which is really cool. Now it will be sort of cling wrapped inside, but you've got your envelopes. So we've got some different three different colors to go with the cards. We've got our card bases. So we've got the yellow, the greeny, and then the pinky one. Now I'm trying to remember what colors the kit uses. And it does tell me somewhere. Yep, it does. Here it tells me the coordinating colors are black, Calypso Coral, which we know from the stamp set, Crushed Curry, so that should, but it's kind of a watery look, Lost Lagoon, Old Olive, Pecan Pie, and Silver. So they're kind of the colors that go with it. And then you've got all these die cuts. So these come on a sheet. Do I still have them? Yes, I do. Like so. And then I've just pressed them all out and put them in my box so that I've kind of got everything here. And it ranges from, you know, bike parts to flowers and things that you're going to stamp to little decoration bits and then things to put your sentiments on. And like this one here, it's all kind of done, but then you just kind of build it up and away you go. So let's have a look at the cards and I'll give you a few tips for putting them together. Obviously it is in here, but you know, good things to note. And then we're going to make some alternatives. So it's good to see that others have got their kit today as well. So the first card was this one here. This part here we have stamped. So I will show you. So this is the bike bit that you get. I'll sort of put it together but not put it together, if you know what I mean. So you can kind of see how it works. If you've got a bone folder, then it's always good to crease it. So using dimensionals, you put dimensionals all over that, and it even shows you, you know, where you should put them, quite detailed. So that will go there like so. Then we have to stamp this. So this will be stamped first and then raised, and the other thing we need to stamp is that as well. So we've got kind of like this half circle, which will go there with a bit of the pattern behind, and then add your butterfly. So that's the gist of that one. So let me just show you the flowers. So looking at the stamp set, there are a couple of different, there's like a cluster of flowers there, and then these ones as well. So you just need to work out, did I use the right ones? Now I'm wondering. Let me have a look at the picture. Yes, I did. So it's the one where, this one. So the block that you get with it is kind of this side, that thickness. Because I've got lots of other blocks, I do bring other ones out, because then I don't need to swap it around quite so much. I do like to stamp on a mat because it gives it, you know, a more spongy layer and it tends to stamp better. Now with the ink spots, so let me just make sure that kind of lines up. You can see the gap. Yep. You do need to kind of ink it up this way, like so, and then line it up. At least it's photopolymer and you can see placing, and away you go like that. So that would be stamped and then adhere onto there, and then have a lovely day. Let's see if we can do that one as well. So it needs to go this way. Of course you can change up your sentiment if you want to make it slightly different. So there is a bit of stamping involved, a bit of adding your embellishments and things, and then there's obviously a little bit of the linen thread there too. So using the lines to hopefully get it the right way. So that would be your stamping on the first card. Okay, so I'm going through these quickly because I do want to make some alternatives. the next card, which was the second one, it was number 2, was the one with the pinky background. So we have this. So more stamping. So we've got our big bike for this one. Where is it? So this one here. So you've got to make sure you push those pieces out. And then we've got this one going over the top with some stamping on that. Like so. So there's another stamp with flowers on it. So I'll use that. And you kind of got to see which way it goes. So that will go, oops, we've got a dimensional in there. Like that way, and then that will be kind of that way, and then this one I think is like that. So let's just stamp that up so you can kind of see how it goes. So about there, then re-ink it. You see me re-ink it, kind of tapping it over. Beautiful. And then our last one. Then the other thing we need to stamp is our sentiment. So there's that, and then we want the best wishes, and that goes on to this little part, and you'll see the little silver dots are at the top. So I'll put my best wishes on this block and stamp that hopefully okay. There we go. Beautiful. And then you're going to be putting that onto the pink card base or whatever color is it, sort of a watered Calypso Coral. So obviously with this one you want these lining up in the corner. That'll be dimensionalized. This will go on the top. The best wishes, where did it go? Will go here. And I think I was actually meant to add some ribbon there and I forgot, or some of the twine. And then of course we've got our embellishments. So we've got 3 embellishments here and we've got 3 embellishments on that one too. Okay, now for the last card, we've got this, and there are some butterflies. So you need to stamp the butterflies before you put your dimensionals on, otherwise they're going to be very hard to stamp. So if you look at your image, it's telling you step number 1 is to do the stamping. Number 2 is putting on the dimensionals. So it's important that you do that in order. So we've got 2 butterflies and a single butterfly. So let's put those on a block and we can stamp. So what did they have? They had the 2 butterflies over here, kind of like so. And then a single one. It's a very big block for it, but that's okay. Kind of up here somewhere, like that. So it's important you stamp first. Then that will go onto the card base. Now you'll notice that card bases are kind of both the front and the back of pattern, so that will be on dimensionals, and then we need to kind of build it up. So I'm looking in my little stash here, and we've got this. We need one of those, and we've got that. So that will go there, but it'll be raised up, and there's another one. Of course I can't find it where it is. Yeah, so that will go on there. So with dimension it will be raised up. Now with this one here, can you see it's got flowers in the basket? So we need to stamp those. So that's the flower where it's kind of the fuller one. So we will get that. And then we have to challengingly, whoops, I've got a bit of ink on there, line it up into there. No pressure when you're doing it on a live. Okay, it's slightly off, but that's okay. And then that'll sit in the basket somewhere like that. And then we add our sentiment, a thank you, and a bit of layer, and then a bit of thread behind. So this one doesn't have any extra embellishments because we've stamped some butterflies on it. So let me just show you those 3 cards. So these are the 3 cards with the kit, and then I'm gonna show you some variations. All right, so 1, 2, 3. Which is your favorite? So it's quite nice because it's sort of bright and cheery. It's a bite. Even if someone doesn't like or doesn't necessarily ride, they're still cool cards because, you know, they're flowers and bright colors and all that kind of thing. And you can, you know, change up the sentiments as you need to. So what do you think of those? Keeping an eye on the comments and things. So what I'm going to do is, I wasn't sure how to kind of change it up using that because, you know, the bike parts are quite big and things. So what I thought I would do, what if I had just a few other basic supplies? So if I had some note cards, which come with note cards and envelopes, I use the stamps and maybe just add a bit extra of linen thread and maybe some sparkles, some of my own embellishments, I could make a few extra cards. So that's what I'm going to show you. Now you could stamp directly onto here, but sometimes I don't like to in case I mess it up, or if you do want to layer it slightly. So having some white card is a bonus. So I'm just going to quickly cut some up. Now if you've been following my other weeks of my live, I've been using note cards quite a bit. So for the outer border, it needs to be 8.5 by 12.3, or that's what I do it at centimeter wise. I'm not sure what that is, imperial. So they're my bigger ones. Is that, I think I need to trim a tiny bit off this. Yeah. All right, and then so that's an outer layer, and I'll show you what I mean by outer layer shortly. And then if I want the piece on the inside a bit smaller, I'm going to make that 8 by 11.8. Now the challenge is remembering which is which. Okay, so basically these are going to be monochromatic because I'm really only using the stamps and the ink. Okay, so keeping it fairly simple, but showing you how you could get more from your kit and make some other cards basically. Obviously you can change up the cards we've got and do different layouts or different folds or something, but we kind of want to use what we've got. All right, so this is my smaller pieces for stamping on, and we'll get rid of all the other scraps and things, and I'll show you what we're doing. So I'll give you an idea. So this is one card I did. Now what I did was I cut up one of the card bases. So this is stamped. So what I can do is I can use half and put it on a white front and then use the other half for this card. So this is what I've got left. All right. Oh, I do need to trim it down a bit. So I could get kind of 3 of these, one or maybe 2 big ones and a smaller one. All right. And then I need to just trim it so it is the length of the card, which I do know is 5 inches. Now I'm not sure. Is it 5 inches? Or 5.5. I don't want to make it too short. It is 5 inches. Okay. All right. So it's pretty simple, really. I'm going to get my mat back out, and I'm going to get that nice big flower, and basically just random patterns, and it just makes it nice and interesting. And that's all you need to do, you know. So that way. And then I'm going to do it that way. So a bit of stamping that way. So you're using part of the kit and then the stamp set. You do need note cards though, but it's always good to have some note cards on hand because there's lots of different ways that you can use them. Let's do one in the middle, which I didn't do before. We'll go kind of there. All right, so you get the idea. So I'm creating, and you could, I should have done one with butterflies. That would have been quite cool. All right, so that, and then I've stamped my butterflies. I don't quite like the placing of those ones so much. It was my first attempt, but you know, we can improve on that. So I've got my note card, fold it in half. Where's my bone folding on? And basically we're going to put this up here. Stamp our greeting and then put some butterflies around it. So I'll go with the best wishes again. Or maybe we'll do a thank you. Switch them over. Let's do a thank you. Ink it up. I just realized as I'm leaning over, I don't know if you can see my Stampin' Up little logo there on my jacket, which was one of the things I got through Stampin' Up. All right, now we want our butterflies. So I'm going to do a single one over here, and then some double ones. So let's pretend that's here. And I might do one here and then one there or something like that. A bit more angled. Oh, we've got to kind of watch for that bottom one. Let's do it that way. I'm not sure. And then here. Oops, he's really on its side. Whoops-a-daisy. Anyway, you get the general idea. So we're going to glue that down. I didn't add any extra twine on this. I'm not quite sure how I could. But I did add some embellishment. And I felt there was already a lot of Calypso Coral already. So I didn't want to add too much more. So that's why I've gone with a more neutral color. And I've gone for like a white. I'm not sure what the embellishments I've used are. Just use whatever you've got left. These are Pearls of Beauty. So from an older set, but that's okay. I kind of like to do sort of that triangle. Sort of 1, 2, and then we'll do one down here. Like that. Okay, so that's one card idea. So for this card, like I say, I've used this from one of the card bases, and then I'm just going to, you know, mount the other half onto something else. So that's one idea. Do you like that? Using the flower and the butterflies. Another idea was, I don't know if you've seen in the set, but there's actually a bike. Now, it's not used on anything, but obviously it kind of coordinates with it. So this is what I did. Okay. We made a little scene with a bike, a happy day, and some flowers up here. Now, you might be thinking, where did I get my colored piece from? You could put this around it, which would be quite nice, but that's quite a big piece that you're using. But that would be quite nice, a bit softer than what I've done. Up to you. Or I've created that myself, and I'll show you what I did. And I have done this before, which is, I've got to find my big piece. Which ones are the border ones? Okay, they must be, yeah. So these are the bigger border ones. And all right, so I'm going to get my mat. You can see what I've done here before. So we're going to use this side. Get my ink spot and basically just run it down. I'm putting slightly more pressure on the left side, so I'm going to run it down and just get ink. And I only want the edge. Doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to be covering it up. So I'm sort of putting more pressure onto that left side. Like that. And now we've got a coloured piece of cardstock. And then this will go over the top. And now we've got our very prominent border. So let's stamp our card. We're going to use that flower again, which is here, and kind of make that border at the top. I'm glad to see that some of you are liking the cards that I've done. I just kind of didn't quite know what to do with the actual kit, how I could vary it. So I thought, well, let's look at some ways that we can kind of use the stamp set. So I hope you have fun playing with it if you've got this particular set. All right, then we're going to stamp our bike. Now, I did find you need to do quite a bit of ink with this. So I'm going to cover it up like this. And stamp it and give it a second to kind of soak in. Beautiful. And we're going to go for our lovely day. I might actually put a butterfly on it this time. Tap, 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 tap. I'm trying to get it straight, but the camera's above me, obviously. Oh, let's hope that is okay. Let's do a little butterfly. Just going to put it on the, maybe up there. Except that might put some more ink where we don't want it. So let's just add that. There we go. Just so it's a little bit different. And we're going to mount it onto here. So that's definitely a very solid border. Find another one of our note cards. And you could adapt these to normal size cards if you wanted to make them a bit bigger as well. Obviously, it'd be a bigger space to fill in. And then you do that and then add some embellishments. Again, it's quite a lot of Calypso Coral. So I'm going to go for that whitish color again. Or I do actually have, these are quite nice because they're a bit more subtle. They are the pearlized faceted circles. So they're kind of a little bit in between. Maybe I'll go for the these slightly more white ones. I'm not sure where to put it now because of my butterfly up there. Sort of might pick up a bit of the kind of orangey colour. Let's do that. All right, I've got one quick last one to show you, which is even more simple, and that is this one here, basically with the 3 butterflies. And I wish I'd put a couple more layers of that on, but anyway, again, I've done the same with my border. So let's do that again. Is this the wider one? But fairly quick, simple cards. Oops, did I just get ink on there? I did. I'm going to flip it over. So what do you think? Have you got some ideas for the stamp set once you've made your cards? Or are you going to change up your cards? Or are you going to do them exactly the same? So the June set has been sent out. So you can't get that anymore. But you can subscribe for the July one anytime now up until the 10th of July. And that's a cool one because it is going to be, I'm going to make this one a thank you. It's going to be what? It's going to be like a blooms and birthday theme. And it's got easel cards in it. So that will be cool. So if you haven't subscribed, you've been wondering, why not join up for July? And you'll get this cool set with some flowers and easel cards. All right, so I'm doing 3 of these. Now I wonder if I should add a bit of flowers around it or something, just to, I don't know, maybe in the corners. I don't know if this is going to mess it up. Tell me what you think. Maybe it's too much. Maybe I should have done them lower. But anyway, now we need to put our twine around as well. So this twine I am getting from elsewhere. I mean, there may be enough in your pack. Use that up if there is. If not, just grab some of your own twine and put that on. And that's my cards. So what are your thoughts? Sorry, I haven't been looking at the comments too much because I have been busy crafting. But yeah, I like the way that, you know, you've got the stamp set, you can use it. You've got the extra ink spots, you can use those. And yeah, you can just kind of adapt them. You've got all these sentiments now. We've got a thank you and a best wishes and a have a lovely day. And we've got whatever the other kits had, which I can't remember off the top of my head. Oh, one of them had a Happy Father's Day, which is always useful. So you're building up your stamp collection as well. So it's great value. You get these kits, you get these cards, and now you've got more stamps. So where did I put my, here's my border for this one. What do you think? Should I have done the flowers or not in the corner? Maybe the butterflies lower would have been nicer. Anyway, you get the idea. But I had fun making these. So you've got these stamp sets, you've got the kits, you might as well make the most of it and make lots of cards from it. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. You like the way I've done the cards? Thank you. Good to have some quick, easy cards on hand, ready to use. So, yeah, grab some note cards next time you're doing an order. And then, because they come with both the cards and the envelopes, and then you've got them ready to make other cards. You could obviously stamp directly on it, but, you know, if you make a mistake, then there's the card base, whereas you can kind of have a play and a try and layer it up too, which is nice. Going to add my bow. Feels all a bit messy here today, but there you go. And then, yeah, adding some embellishment is good too. You don't have to. It would be just a SIP card if it was just stamp, ink and paper. But we're kind of just adding a little bit more to it and adding a bit of bling and thread and stuff like that. So with this one, I did go for that kind of orangey one. Where have I put them? Here. So there are lots of cool stamps in this one. Flowers and butterflies, bikes. Not sure if I'm happy with that placement, but there you go. All right, so let's have a look. I didn't quite stick this one together, did I? Let's quickly do that too. A bit messy with the glue there, but we'll get there. Now, of course, these are monochromatic, if you know what that means, because we've only got the one ink color for this kit. They're all Calypso Coral. If you've got ink from other kits, then you could change it up and use some other colors. But I wanted to show you what I could make from this actual kit with minimal extra supplies. Okay, let's take a look. Trying to tidy up here, I've spread out a bit. So these are the extra cards made with the stamps. What's your favorite? Do you like the one where I've used some of the card base? Do you like the butterflies, or do you like the bike? And Sue says she likes it with the twine. Yeah, I think it just kind of adds to it as well. I just wasn't quite sure where or how to add it to that. This one I've only done one layer, but I think I prefer it going around a couple of times. But yeah, that adds a nice touch to it. And there is twine on these cards too. So let me show you the originals. So that's one, that one, and this is meant to have twine as well, but I forgot to put it on. So there you go, lots of fun with the June Paper Pumpkin kit. So just a reminder that to get the kits, you need to subscribe by the 10th of June. It is kind of a surprise. You get a sneak peek of what it is. We knew it was bikes and blooms, and I think we got a little shot of that part of the card, but we don't see the whole thing. So it's the excitement of something new. And in July, it will be birthdays and blooms, which will be fun. I've got a page on my blog where you can kind of see a sneak peek of what it is. So if you're already a subscriber, great, you'll get it in July. If you haven't, you can subscribe now. It won't get sent until the 11th of July, okay, or from that date onwards. And then you can have fun with these. Let other people know about it. You can gift them to people, even the subscriptions you can gift, or you might want to get together with someone and make some of the cards, but they're lots of fun. And yeah, I enjoyed making these and coming up with some other ideas. And remember, you've got the stamp set that you can use and ink spot to add to your collection, so it's great value. So if you don't know, it is $56, and that includes shipping, which is a great deal as well. All right, let's come back to me. Cool. All right, so thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you being here. I'm glad that I could be here despite everything that's been happening in my family, but you know, things sort of being sorted for my father-in-law, and hopefully with him being in hospital now, they can help him and he will be on the mend. So thank you for your kind comments and things. Thank you for joining me for this live and for seeing today's kits. Oh, I know what I was going to mention. So if you're a subscriber, you can order extra kits. They are not with the stamp and the ink spot. They're refill kits. They're not available straight away. I think it's from the 21st of the month. I'll have to check that. So if you really like this kit and you want to make more cards, you can buy an additional kit and use the stamps and things that you've got. So that's quite cool too. And there is a coordinating die that's coming, and that will coordinate with the June, July, and August kit. So there's kind of some extra things that you can get too. All right, so I appreciate your kind comments saying that the cards look great. Honestly, they were fairly quickly done because I was limited with time today with all that's been happening. But sometimes when you're under pressure and you've got to make a card, you can't spend, because sometimes you spend ages thinking about it. Whereas I just had to get on and do it. And yeah, I was pleased with what I did. So why don't you have a go? Pull out some craft supplies, give yourself a time limit and say, right, go for it. And I'd love to see what you create. So if you've got the kit and you come up with some alternatives, please share those with me too. All right, thanks for joining me. I do appreciate you being here, whether you're watching the live or the recording. It's great. I know some of you are local and can come to classes, which is lots of fun, but not everyone can. So it's our way of connecting, through online in our lives. So I appreciate you being here. All right, thank you. Enjoy the rest of your day. We will see you again next week. Thanks so much. Bye.